Here's what we'll do. This is only supposed to be 15 to 20 minutes. Some people have gone over, and that's totally fine. Today, I have a hard stop. What time is it over there?
8 a.m.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a hard stop at 8:50. But you know, if it goes over 15, 20 minutes, that's fine. I know at 8:50 I will have to jump off. But yeah, I mean, thank you all for showing up at 8 o'clock. My goodness.
Just trying to figure out what beanie I'm gonna wear. That's the most difficult decision I have to make today.
Greetings and salutations. You are tuned in to Milkshake Scholar Season 2. I'm your host, Randy Winston, and on today's show, I have the distinct honor of introducing you to two of my very good friends who have now moved to Washington, but when I met them, they were here in Brooklyn. And I miss you all dearly. If COVID has taught me anything, it's that maybe, just maybe, there is life outside of the concrete jungle. I'm gonna start introducing from right to left and save the best for last. So up first is Brett Rawson, who is a living brainstorm, folks. He is also Conor McGregor's twin. And I have seen that in person many times. I've had to brush people off as Conor's walking through the streets of Times Square. So welcome, Brett. And last but not least, the superstar mom of Finnegan, the rabbit dachshund, Joyce Chen. What's up, Joyce?
Thank you. Glad to be here.
I mean, you listen. We've talked many times about milkshakes, and you're here. You're both here. You have reached the pinnacle of milkshake universe.
Oh man, yeah. I feel like I gotta be more prepared for this with the milkshake, but we have a boba instead to fill in.
I mean, for folks that are watching at home, Brett and Joyce are up at 8 o'clock in the morning to be here. It is 11 on the East Coast. It is definitely 8 o'clock on the West Coast. So I really appreciate you all being here. People, outside of Amsterdam, I've had someone call in from Amsterdam. So outside of Amsterdam, you've been the furthest. So now I know that we may have some viewers in Washington for this quarter, which is nice. Joyce, you and I have talked a lot about dairy in the recent days, and I got to tell you, I do have an Oatly vanilla. It's a 100% vegan. Got my Oatly vanilla here with Oatly milk. I use the Oatly milk and frozen strawberries, and I think I will be buying a new blender because of that. It turned out pretty good. I'm just waiting on the rest of the milkshake in the blender to thaw out. So I put it in the sun over there. And I also remember the last time, maybe not the last time you all were here, but this was maybe 2017, 2018. And Brett and Joyce, I don't know if you remember this, but I do. You took me to this milkshake spot. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And there's this walk. I'll have to find the footage of it. I don't know if it's footage or just a picture, but I had on a white shirt and a salmon pair of pants. And that milkshake that woman created was beautiful, and I will never forget that. I think it may have had some bubble tea in it. I can't remember, or maybe it was the straw that they used for the bubble tea.
Yeah.
Oh,
it was tremendous.
That was delicious.
I think it was as big as all of our faces combined or something.
Yeah, I had the most beautiful stomach ache ever. It was gorgeous.
Pure sugar.
Pure sugar. Tell me something. So you've now been in Washington, like you moved from New York and you're in Washington for what feels like it's been forever. but it's only been what, 3 years, 4 years?
Yeah.
So when COVID first broke, I'm from the South and I'm used to a lot of space. And I'm used to a yard and a porch and a backyard, all that good stuff. And I immediately thought to myself, uh-oh, I should have stayed home. So like being away from the city, do you like maybe not grateful, but did you think about, I wonder what life would have been like if we were still in New York?
Oh, yeah. That thought definitely crossed my mind because before we moved to Seattle, Brett and I were living in a elevated shoebox is what we called it. It's not a one bedroom, just a studio. And yeah, it was really tight quarters. So I kind of shivered thinking about it because I think Brett used to always say, basically you could fluff a pillow and flush the toilet at the same time, which is not untrue. So that would have been tight quarters. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think we definitely felt the absence, we felt the distance. I think like COVID makes you feel either, closer to yourself, closer to other people, whether it's family, whether it's Zoom. But yeah, we felt the distance big time, just because so much of our community was out there. So like, even though we had this new home out here, we had so many roots out in New York, and just being outside the city just felt like you didn't know what was going on. And it was, I mean, nobody knew what was going on, even like, outside their own apartment building. But there was like that meta level of distance that I felt like, we were kind of like scrapped, like almost wanting to get back just to be in that community and be with the people who we've been with for a decade.
Yeah. Now Brett, you run a lot. And I admire like your ability to get out and run in all conditions. And I need to know, what is some advice you have for me? Because listen, man, I was in Prospect Park the other day and a guy was running past me and with the phone up to his ear. He lapped me actually. And there's a group of Park Slope moms that run every morning, and they're in full conversation running past me. And listen, I'm trying my best, and I'm not getting there. I'm struggling. So any advice on endurance, breathing, help a brother out.
Yeah, I mean, I've been at, we've done races or runs, and you'll be on like the last mile of like a half marathon or a marathon. And, somebody who's in their mid 60s just like either laps you or you just finally caught up with them. I mean, I think everybody's beautiful. I don't know. I think the hardest part is just putting on your shoes sometime, and just convincing yourself to get out of the apartment. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, is that run just a run, or like, is that run a catch up? Because sometimes there's just adrenaline and chatting with your friends. Whereas if you go out to go for a run, then you're just constantly thinking about how you wish you weren't running.
Well, Brett, that's the thing. I'm so slow that I don't, and I struggle so much that I don't know if I could actually talk while I'm running.
Yeah.
So like if I was visiting you all and Brett, you said, "Hey, Randy, do you go for a run?" I would have to say no because I would die trying to get a sentence out of my mouth.
Yeah, when I started running, actually, like, I don't know, it was like 12 years ago, the guy who I started running with, or who taught me how to run in the trails, his whole thing was that you should run at the pace that you can talk at. And I was like, well, then I'm not running. Because I was just starting out. And, so we would just go super slow, though, and just go on this very, very slow run. And I don't know, just getting lost in the trees. It's just kind of like a fast hike,
Yeah. So when you say fast hike, do you mean just walking? Because that's what
Yeah, it's like, convenient pace. So it's like, walking uphill and then pretending like you're jogging downhill.
Now, Joyce, you used to work at the Rolling Stone, and now you're the executive director of Seventh Wave and co-founder, along with Brett. And Brett, you're the director of programs. But Joyce, talk to me a little bit about how you've seen your role change during COVID.
Ooh. Good questions. I think with seventh wave, because we brought on a team of 10 people. When I say we brought on a team of 10 people, I mean before that it was just me and Brett, our buddy Krista. So it was really like growth to exponential means. So before that, it was kind of like all hands on deck, like everyone does everything. And we brought on these 10 wonderful people, all of a sudden it was like all hands on deck. And also, how's everyone doing? Like, just wanted to check in, like, how's your heart? And it was COVID. But I mean, really honestly, I don't know how I could have gotten through COVID without that team, because it feels like, all right, we're already spread out all over the place in our little kind of pockets, but here's this, I don't want to say forced connection, because I think people wanted to be connected, but here's this like built-in structure and built-in family and built-in team. So it became a lot more like, I felt like a mama hen in a way, to just be like, how's everyone doing? Like, let's just, like, for this team meeting, let's just talk about our feelings, you know, like what's everyone going through? So that changed from the just like go to like, let's just take a pause and see like how everyone's doing before we rush into stuff. But yeah. And
am I allowed to talk about you all being married, or is that still like is that public?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're definitely married.
We're definitely married.
So you're all right. So surprise everyone, Brett and Joyce are married. For those of you that I should have started off the show with that. I should have led with it. They're probably wondering why these two people sitting here together. They're married. And I have to ask you a question about space during the pandemic, mainly because I have a roommate here. He's been gone for 6 months, but when he was here, you know, in our very small quarters, we had to learn each other's behaviors even more and like figure out a way to make it comfortable for the both of us. So like, what has it been like for you two? Because you work seventh wave, you have your own projects on the side. Brett, you do Washington Wine, you have Finnegan, and then you also have like the normal day things that you both like to do separately. How do you manage to maneuver around each other with COVID and having to be inside more than normal? I promise this is not therapy.
I mean, I think one cool phrase that Joyce. Oh yeah, you want to come say hi, Finn?
For folks that are wondering, that is Finnegan.
That's the true star of the show.
I love those chairs, Joyce.
Yeah, thanks. They're like little egg squiggly chairs.
Hey,
this is sweet little Finnegan.
Oh,
he loves to sit on these chairs behind our butts. It keeps him
okay.
You wanna go, Mama?
Yes, sure.
Yeah, I think like the whole co-space thing. I mean, like I think the one phrase that we always called ourselves were co-stars from the beginning. You know, co-stars seem to like just encapsulate it all. We're partners, we're boyfriend, girlfriend, we're colleagues, we're, you know, workshop fellows, we're creatives, whatever it is. And so I think like from the beginning, we just respected that about each other, that in any space, we can continue to be a different kind of support system. And, but I mean, obviously COVID has been, you know, that challenges everybody in so many different ways. But one thing Joyce used to say when we were first dating, and what we still do, but back then, was protecting each other's solitude. And I think like I don't think you could like underestimate how important that is to protect somebody else's solitude, especially at a time like this, especially when both of us are creatives. How do you allow the other person to have their space, have their time, without feeling like there's a stopwatch, you know, always around? So I think like one thing we tried to do wherever we've lived is like create little pockets of like, even though we have like a small space here, even though we had a small space in New York, you know, it's just how can we create a little desk or a little nook or a little sitting area where we can just kind of coexist in whatever we're doing. Maybe Joyce is doing her journalist stuff and I'm, you know, doing my wine stuff, or maybe I'm doing scrolls and she's reading and journaling. And it's like just getting those routines and rituals to coexist, I think, is always difficult. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe we were just so used to wearing so many hats that it just feels natural that like when you're in a confined space, you can adapt and like, you know, be a support system whenever they need to have their solitude or, you know, yeah. I don't know. Is that an answer?
Yeah.
Did that work?
No,
Did I do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
My brain went toward a more logistical thing where I said, we've moved furniture a lot during COVID to literally get like different spaces because, you know, I mean, I think at the beginning we had a TV in here. We don't have a TV in here anymore. For instance, you know, to like switch things up. I mean, now we have this cool projector because we have a blank white wall. And it's just kind of like, okay, so when we don't use it, then that space just feels like chill. When we do want to use it, then we have that space. But yeah, Brett's really good at moving furniture around and imagining spaces. And I usually just kind of like quietly panic inside and then help when needed. But
but they're both forms of anxiety. Like my anxiety makes me move. Sometimes my anxiety gives you so it's also managing the anxieties of furniture, I suppose.
Tell me something. You mentioned TV, and you moved the TV out of a room, and I actually bought a TV and put it in a room. And before pre-COVID, my rule was no TV in the living room because when I had friends over, I wanted to be able to have their attention the whole time and for everyone to fellowship. But you know, with COVID and no one being able to come over, I'm like, well, I got to catch up on the TV. So, I know that you all still watch TV. It's just, you know, the TV was moved out of a room. So tell me, what's been a TV show that you both have enjoyed during the pandemic? And I'm sure it's been like all over the place, you know. But
how much time do you have?
If you could give me one that was memorable.
Good luck.
I know, right? Because it's been a year, right? So it's a lot of TV.
Yeah.
So I have always been the biggest fan of Lost. Like, was like a Lost junkie.
I know where this story is going. I love Lost.
Yeah.
I'm not laughing because Joyce loves Lost. I'm laughing because I know where the story is going.
I was like, all right, you know, I think this might have been like April of last year. Like, what is a show that's guaranteed to like kind of like there's a through line, it'll pull us through. Like, I'm sure this pandemic will be over in like a few months, right? So like this will last a few months. We start watching Lost, and then Brett's never watched Lost before, so everything was brand new and like exciting and shiny, and I was like, oh man, great. And then we get into season 6. Things start to veer off the rails a little bit, and then for some reason, I don't know why, in my head, it's been such a long time, I was like, I remember that there were 7 seasons, which is untrue, false. We get to the end of season 6, and I'm like, don't worry, that's not the end. Like there's more. There's no more, obviously. I've never seen Brett so disappointed in my life. It was sad. I'm sorry I put you through that.
It's not your fault that Lost as a series is a bad poem. Like everything's beautiful until the very end.
Yeah.
It was so crushing. Yeah. That last episode, I was like, wait, this seems like it's like buttoning everything up. And she's like, no, I'm pretty sure there's another season. And then we looked after it was over and I was like, wait, that was the end. And then I think we were just empty. We were just so empty inside for like at least a couple of weeks. And honestly, I don't know how television people do it. I don't know how you wait a week for another episode.
Oh man, like, it was, you know, back in the day, you had to, you didn't have a choice. But you know what the trick was, and I'm sure Joyce may know this. If you're a TV nerd like I am, the deal was to have a go-to show every night, or at least most nights out of the week. So that way, while you're waiting for one, you're getting your fix on the other one.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh man.
What it was.
You know what? Wait, say that, Joyce. Say that.
No, I was just gonna say. I mean, technically, everything's on the table. We also watch The Bachelor, and that is week by week.
Yes, it is.
And so, like, there has to be plenty to hold you over, because how do you get through a week like hanging in suspense on that terrible drama every week if you don't have something?
Yeah, and you also wouldn't have emotional bandwidth to watch it every single day, so you need a break. You can't binge that, you know.
Oh man.
I think it's
you know, when I was watching Lost, I was binging it the same way that Brett binged it, because I had watched Lost up until season maybe 3, and then I started working, and I went back to school and I lost track of it. So I was able to get copies of the rest of the seasons that remained, and I binged it. And I remember there was a point where I had been watching Lost so much that I could hear, was it Benjamin Linus?
Oh God, yeah.
I could hear his voice when I was like going to my car at night, like in the bushes or something. He was creepy.
He was creepy. Yeah.
He was creepy. Have you all seen Normal People?
No.
Okay.
But that is I've heard a lot of good stuff. Yeah.
Listen, tread carefully. It is a beautiful, it's a beautiful story overall, like the entire arc. But I gotta tell you, you need to be emotionally ready because a friend of mine, she's probably gonna watch this, told me to watch it. And I thought to myself, oh, this will be great. You know, I give her TV show recommendations all the time. Mm-hmm. So it's only right that she will give me one and I'll watch it and then we'll have a discussion about it. And when I tell you, I ugly cried in the finale, it was bad. It was really bad. Yeah. So right. tread carefully.
Okay.
I mean, have you done This Is Us?
I'm not ready.
Yeah.
I'm not ready.
Yeah. Sometimes I forget how emotional a show it is, which is silly. And then we start watching, like, right. I don't know if I can do this, but here we go.
Yeah. Last night
everything out.
Last night we watched an episode and then Joyce went to bed and I watched another one and just ate ice cream and cried by myself.
What's it?
Coconut ice cream.
Yeah, I had coconut ice cream and I was just crying in the dark.
Love coconut ice cream. What's the name of that? I'm about to do a terrible job of describing a book, but this is really bad. So there's this book that came out years ago, and by years ago I mean like 2014, 15-ish. Maybe. It's pretty thick, and it's the story takes place in New York. The cover is blue, and there's a man that's doing like this awkward little gesture with his hands. And it was like one of the top. See, this is terrible. Joyce is laughing. This is terrible.
No. I just trying to picture it, but also it's funny. I'm like, do I know a blue book with an awkward man on the cover?
It's what's the name of it? Oh, Joyce, I gotta Google this now.
Oh no.
And it's supposedly someone I knew who was like this super tough guy is bawling his eyes out.
Yeah.
Like, every time. He's like, yeah, every time I pick that book up, crying my eyes out. And I can't remember the name of it. This is bad. When this episode comes out, I will put the title of it at the bottom of the screen as I'm terribly describing the name of this book. God.
Judging books by their covers.
Yeah. I know Cal, and you all know Cal. She recommended the book. And then a good friend of mine, Finn, recommended the book. And then somebody else recommended. So it's highly recommended. And once I figure out what the title of this book is, I will let you all know in a text message. And I feel bad. So great.
It's okay. It happens.
It's all right. It just gives us a reason to connect later.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about, so for those that are watching that don't know about Seventh Wave is a magazine that puts art in the space of social issues. Talk to me a little bit about where we are now with Seventh Wave and what you all are, what projects are you working on? What initiatives are you involved in? And what you see the work of Seventh Wave looking like post-pandemic when outside is open.
I like that phrase, when outside is open.
Yeah. I feel like I'm in timeout.
Yeah.
Where we're at right now is I think we've been figuring out cool ways to connect folks like digitally, because one of our, I think, biggest programs is our bi-coastal residency. So we used to have a residency in upstate New York in Rhinebeck, and then went out here in Washington State, just outside of Seattle on Bainbridge Island. And I really miss gathering with people in person. But obviously when the pandemic, we're like, yeah, we probably gotta kibosh that because that's not gonna fly because people are flying from all over the country, sometimes all over the world. So we shifted, pivoted, 2020 word, and basically like move the residency online. But we're like, we don't want to have like a weekend where everyone just stares at the screen for like 3 days straight. That seems terrible. So instead we broke it up. So now it is across 5 months, 7 sessions, because we like the number 7. And we just like meet up and talk about art, about creativity, about like how everyone's doing, because that's always an important topic, and like revision and all that kind of stuff. And that's been really fun. And I think it's opened up a lot of possibilities. My living brainstorm husband, in terms of like, hey, like even after like post-pandemic, when outside is open, is there a way that we can continue this? Because, you know, not everyone can take the time off to go to a residency. I mean, like it's a dream, you know, but even if it's a weekend, sometimes it's tough because work and life and kids and all that kind of stuff. But what if we can like kind of bring a residency to folks, which is what we're doing now with the editorial residency. So we're experimenting a little bit about like, okay, post-COVID, whatever post-COVID looks like, is there a way that we can still keep doing this while also hosting our in-person residencies? Because I think, you know, we talk a lot about how much we love community, but truly like that's what's I feel like has gotten us through pandemic. Yeah. So like, can we continue that? Can we keep people connected? Can we, you know, keep people who might not feel like they belong inside like the literary scene feel like they're included too? So yeah, there's a lot of possibilities. I think like COVID just made us think creatively about how to keep doing like the core of what we do best, but just in like it might look different. Yeah.
I think COVID has like, it makes me think like, does Zoom matter if the conversation's good?
Thank you.
You know, like
that was me saying thank you, because the quality of these Zoom calls sometimes gets choppy, but the conversation is good.
Yeah, but like, you know, it's like, because everything goes into that digital virtual world, but whenever we've hosted the editorial residency sessions or our team meetings, it's like sometimes like staff or us, you know, we're like, oh man, like another Zoom, you know, like, oh, another meeting, another, you know, I'm going to go into this like little flashlight and it's going to drain me of my soul. But then we always leave just feeling completely refreshed. And like, we get that every single time, like every residency session, it's 2 hours and that's a long time, but at the end, people still want to hang on, people still want to connect. And so it makes me think, you know, what were we putting up with before COVID that was actually draining us in person, and we didn't know it because we were supposed to just have all these meetings with people. And I think that COVID has now really separated out what is a healthy meeting, what is an unhealthy meeting, and doesn't like, I think the technology just makes it clear if you have a connection between two people or between a group of people. And so I think, I don't know, I feel like we're ready to fully embrace, like, use the screen whenever we need to create connection that didn't otherwise exist, and then meet outside the screen whenever we can, because that's important. But the idea of it being one way or the other, I think you forget that community and conversations still take a lot of time. They still take showing up. And sometimes it just, you know, you see yourself differently, or people see others differently, or whatever it is through different mediums. But I don't know, being like a digital community of artists and activists, I feel like we were both at once prepped for this. And then also we're just learning how we can really come together when we can't be together, whether it's COVID or not.
Yeah. I like that. Tell me something, both of you. So I'm sitting at home, I've had time to think about a lot of things, and one of them being different universes, because I'm a big Marvel fan, and right now I'm wrapped up in WandaVision. If there was, well, in another universe, what would your occupation be?
Damn.
Yeah, there we go.
And I can go first.
That'd be awesome.
Please.
I can go first. So in another universe, I would definitely be an actor or try to do Broadway. That's definitely what I would do.
Randy, I've never heard your singing voice.
I can sing. I can definitely sing. One of my best friends and his wife found out just how much I like to sing because they introduced me to Frozen 2 and Frozen and specifically Into the Unknown. And for the rest of that trip, I sung Into the Unknown, and my friend now hates when I sing it, but it's pretty good, I must say. So if anybody needs a black guy to sing Into the Unknown when Broadway opens, I'm here. I'm available.
Look him.
That's amazing.
Do you know what you would be in a different universe?
No, I'm gonna think about it more.
I think at first, I'm glad you went first because I wasn't sure if it was like if you were in a completely different world and society where these jobs didn't exist. I was gonna go toward like, I would be like a mountain or something. So I was going like in a very
that's great. That's great. I like that. You really went for it.
Yeah, I was feeling the mountain vibe. Maybe like, that sort of like alpine plant.
Okay.
And like people get up there and they're like, whoa, like there's a plant up here. And I'm like, good evening. Welcome to the summit.
But you wouldn't be the plant, you would be the mountain.
You would be the mountain.
And the plant.
You would be both.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be some anatomy of mountain. But if it's the real world, I would be a voice actor. So I'm super on the same page with you.
Okay.
Because when I was growing up, I didn't grow until I was 17. Like when I was 15, my bones were the size of a 10-year-old. Like, I mean, my body was frozen. And so because I was so small and I never budged, I never grew, and like fitting in was always such a struggle every day because everyone's just passing you by. I was always watching people's mouths and like how they talk. And so I just got really good at impersonation. And sometimes still to this day, I like wish I could still like make a venture into voice acting just because I love like speech. And I don't know, every time we watch any of these shows, I feel like I become one of the characters or like want to figure out how they talk the way they do.
I kind of feel like you're just like perfect for Clubhouse. Really, like seriously, right? Like speech and conversation and like, yeah. I heard there's voice actors who go into Clubhouse, by the way, who just like do their bits and then everyone just gets really confused, like different celebrities or whatever. But obviously, like their faces light up and it's not them. But so yeah.
Brett, I could see you doing voice acting on D&D. Some Dungeons and Dragons.
All right, I'm in.
Oh man.
Joyce, what about you?
Other universe? That's funny. My brain went a million different ways. I was like, what are the parameters? Tell me the rules, which is dumb. Kind of along your lines, two things. I was thinking it'd be cool to be a cloud curator.
Ooh.
Like just be able to like, I wouldn't like make them, but I'd be like, yeah, that one's good for today, and just toss it out there. Or this one needs more time to marinate. Like, nah. But I don't know. That seems like a very random thought. But the other thought that I had.
I like that.
Cloud curator. The other thought that I had, like Brittany and I have talked about this before, like if you could come back in another life, like what would you be, kind of thing. And I thought, I've always thought about joining a monastery and being a nun. Like just like living just kind of away from all the different things and just like super in the moment, possibly on a mountainside, what have you. It connects. I think cloud curation also connects. But yeah, I think there was a period of time because I went on a lot of silent retreats and I was kind of like, oh, you know what? Like I feel really at home here. I feel really at peace. Maybe this is a path that I'm meant to take. Didn't happen, but I think about that sometimes. So alternate universe.
This has come full circle because, you mentioned a monastery, which usually is, sometimes in a mountain, and Brett wants to be a mountain, and, Frozen takes place near a mountain. So Into the Unknown.
I mean, this is why you're our officiant.
Yeah. Bringing it all together.
Bringing it all together.
2028 or something.
For those watching, I am officiating the official Brett and Joyce weddings. I am very nervous about it, but I'm sure it'll be fun. It will definitely be fun.
I thought this was the practice round of that,
Randy just stands up there and asks us, like, so if you could be any kind of tree, what tree would you be?
I feel like you do need to have a milkshake though if you're officiating our wedding. Like there has to be a stand with a milkshake in front of you.
Listen, I can make that happen if you want me to. I can make that happen. Brett, did you notice anything?
I sure did. Yeah, I saw that.
Oh,
got
nice.
that wild wine hat.
Nice hat. Nice merch.
Yeah, it's a good looking hat.
It is. It's nice hat. I think I have 3 of them actually.
Yeah.
I have 3. All right, here we go. The last thing that we'll discuss, and it's the song that plays during the opening credits of your biopic.
Oh boy.
You know, while I stall for time and Brett picked up his phone to look up some songs.
Well, I need to look at the name of the song.
Oh, okay. I used to always say biopic, and then I didn't realize that's biopic. And there are also a lot of other words that I mispronounce that I've learned over the years. But biopic? No, biopic. Biopic is one of them. Okay. How's that spelling?
That's great.
Okay.
And I must say, I try not to frame people's answers to this question. So once you're done, I will then tell you something, but I can't say it now because then it'll make you nervous.
Okay. Well, now I'm nervous about the thing that'll make us nervous.
It's actually pretty fun. Actually, it's not even something that you'll be nervous about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Currently, my choice. Did you already say your choice?
No. Go for it.
Wait, did you do yours yet?
No.
No, you do yours.
Oh,
Yeah.
All right. I think. Do you know the band Rye? RHYE.
RHYE. Maybe. I mean, I've listened to quite a bit of music, and I can't remember most of it. So it's possible, especially if it's in a commercial. Like I love commercial music. That's how I find new bands.
Yeah. I was just thinking about the Oatly commercial. Wow, no cow. No, it's Rye, and the song is Open.
Okay.
And like, there's this music video for it, and like I've always thought that's like the most beautiful way you can open anything. It's literally just 2 people driving in a car on a long windy road, like very cinematic. I just really like that song. That's my pick.
I love that. Brett?
Pressure.
I'm picking this one just because it lodged itself inside of my heart recently because it was a meme and I just felt heard. But it's Olivia Rodrigo's Driver's License.
Okay.
If you haven't seen the video of the squirrel trying to climb up a greased pole, and then it just accepts defeat and just slides down the greased pole. That's just how I was feeling that day. And I sometimes still go back to that meme and I'm like, you know what? I got this. Like I got the greased pole today. And then usually around 3 p.m., I just clutch that greased pole and I just slide back down. So either that or anything by Billie Eilish.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. I will after we're done, I will go and listen to those 2. So I was going to say that usually when I ask this question, people get very nervous. But what ends up happening is their answer like really gives me another window into who they are and where they've come from. So these are great. I love these. And it's a special question. Yeah. And I have a special project that I'm working on for everyone's answers. That's all I can say.
That's fun.
So a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
A cliffhanger. But
Andy.
Yeah. Yes.
Can I ask you a question?
Of course.
To relieve you of the burden of asking questions.
Absolutely.
One of my favorite questions to ask folks is what do we call this? Like table questions or conversation questions is what are your 3 favorite non-musical sounds?
My 3 favorite non-musical sounds. You're the first person to ask me that, and I love it. I will definitely tell you birds chirping, crickets, especially when I'm back home in the South and it's quiet and we're like in the middle of nowhere and you can hear the crickets going. And What's one more? Give me one more. Non-musical. Oh, laughter. I love hearing people laugh, whether it's a child or people our age or an elderly person in my family. I just love hearing people laugh. Sure.
I love that.
Great answers.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about
Oh, yeah. I was just gonna say I just got a peek into Randy's soul a little bit. That was really cool.
Yeah. I love it. That's a great question.
Yeah. Because I think it no matter what people answer, like it says a lot about where they're from or like what their peaceful spots are.
Thank you so much. 8:00 in the morning over there. Thank you.
Anytime.
I'm gonna let you all go back to sleep now.
For the Milkshake Scholar, we'll get up at whatever hour, stay up till whatever hour. This is fun.
Yeah, doesn't matter. Anytime we'll hop on.
I greatly appreciate it. Let's talk again soon. We got to do Zoom more. This is fun.
I know. Yeah. I like
just
it.
Not at 8:00 in the morning.
I will say though, having boba at 8 a.m. was a treat. I feel like very ready for the day. Normally I drink my boba within like 10 minutes of buying it. But last night when we bought it, I was like, I'm going to save this for Milkshake Scholar.
I know. It was really sweet.
So I feel like it was worth the wait, and I understand. I feel like this is my first time succeeding at the marshmallow test.
Hey.
Oh, before we go, please tell everyone where they can find the work that you want them to find. I always have to say that because some people don't want to be plugged.
Fair. I think I would say www. old-fashioned www.seventhwavemag.com.
Yeah, on Insta, all the channels at Seventh Wave Mag. Let's come hang out. Let's be in community.
Yeah.
Boom. Well, thank you so much. If I didn't have to go, I would stay on and chat more.
Yeah.
Oh, good. It's good seeing your face.
Yeah.
It's good to see you all too. And I'm so glad that Finnegan joined the party at one point.
Sure did. He's eating a bone right now. Happy as can be.
I love it. Well, I'll talk to you all soon. Be well.
You too.
Bye, Randy.
Bye.
Yeah.